Welcome back to r/Reddit stories. We are going to be talking about r/malicious compliance. Let's start off on our first story. Our first story is city's cheap overtime policy backfires, gives garbage collectors double the work. This was in the late 90s. My city decided to save a few bucks by not paying overtime to garbage collectors during the holidays. Instead of coming up with a reasonable solution, they told the garbage collectors to only pick up 2 bags per household, regardless of how much trash was actually out. Here's the kicker. There was no rule for residents. We could put out as many bags as we wanted. The city didn't bother communicating anything to us, so when Christmas came, which fell on a Thursday, one of the usual garbage days, everyone put out their mountain of holiday trash like normal. Wrapping paper, boxes, leftovers, whatever didn't fit in the bins was bagged and sent to the curb. The following Monday, another trash pickup day, garbage collectors, following orders, only took 2 bags per house. The rest just sat there. By the end of the week, the streets looked like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie, with bags piled high on curbs and sidewalks. The result? Absolute chaos. Some houses had 10-plus bags sitting out. The garbage collectors had no choice but to haul it all away because, let's be real, there was no way this backlog was going to fix itself. In the end, the city ended up paying overtime anyway because the backlog from 1 week of savings was impossible to clear in regular shifts. Instead of saving money, they gave the garbage collectors twice the work and had to scramble to deal with the mess. One comment said, "Right now, I am using a mouse pad made from 100% recycled cardboard. I'm getting a lot of use out of something that other people would just throw away." It was the leftover brownish-gray piece that was once the backing for a pad of graph paper. I wrote mousepad in 2 opposite corners on both sides so that the household assistants would not mistake it for trash if it fell on the floor. It works great. The fiber is just rough enough to prevent chud from building up on the bottom of the optical mouse. It is also big enough, A size, so that the mouse does not get near the edge when I move the pointer between opposite sides of the screen. It is also thin enough that it does not bulk out the laptop case when I travel. I know it is not an earth-shaking effort, but it is just one example of recycling that takes little effort and pays off in the long run. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying our stories. Our second story is Fix It Now. You got it, boss. I was working in a hotel in the UK as a lobby boy. My afternoon job was to handle guests' requests for extra pillows, blankets, etc. The system worked like this. The guests informed the reception. The details were written in a notebook, e.g., room XY, pillow. And every so often, I checked the book, solved the problems, and ticked them off when done. One night during dinner, the hotel boss wrote a note in the book. Room X plus X. Hot water tap is not working. I went to the room, checked it. Yup, not working. I went back and wrote in the book. Can't fix it, call a plumber. On my next round, there was a new message. Fix it now, underlined 3 times. Well, I went back to the room, checked the hot water tap again. In the UK, there are 2 taps on the sink, one for cold and one for hot. Still couldn't fix it. I tried a few things until somehow the pipe, the one from the wall to the sink, popped out, and boiling hot water started pouring onto the floor at full force. Panic mode on, I grabbed the room phone and called reception. Busy. So I sprinted through the hotel, the room was on the farthest side, jumped into reception and shouted, "Room XY, plumber, now!" Then I rushed back to the room. The water was still gushing out at full force, so I just sat on the edge of the bathtub, holding the pipe so that the water poured into the tub instead of flooding the floor. And after about 3 minutes of this, the hotel boss peeked into the bathroom, went pale, and ran away. 5 more minutes passed. Then the fire alarms went off because of the steam. Fortunately, the staff already knew what was happening, so they told the guests it was a false alarm and didn't evacuate the hotel. Another 10 minutes later, they finally shut off the water supply for the entire wing of the hotel. A plumber arrived and fixed the tap in 3 minutes. Now came the fun part, cleaning. Surprisingly, there wasn't much water in the bathroom, considering the tap had been gushing for over 15 minutes. So I went 1 floor lower to see where all that water had gone. I entered the room's bathroom, switched on the light, but it was very dim. That's when I realized the bowl-shaped lamp cover on the bathroom ceiling was filled to the brim with water, with the light bulb happily sitting inside it. Oh shit. Light off. Drained the water from the lamp cover, mopped up that bathroom too, But still, it didn't seem like enough water for what had happened. So I went even lower. Below that bathroom, on the ground floor, there was a corridor, luckily not another room. But the ceiling had gotten so wet that it collapsed. A 2 by 3 meter section of it had come crashing down onto the carpet. After 15 minutes in a sauna-like bathroom, 30 minutes of cleaning, and clearing the rubble, I finally stepped outside for some fresh air. That's when my roommate walked past, took one look at me, and asked, "Did someone puke on you?" Since then, whenever I say I can't fix something, they actually believe me and call a professional. One comment said, "My landlord does this all the time. Fixes things, but in the cheapest way possible and often badly because he doesn't know what he is doing. And then he has to come back and fix that, and sometimes replace items that broke because of his bad work." I am honestly kind of surprised that he never seems to learn from it. He must have infinite money and time. Our final story for today is called Extra Work Time. I work as a field researcher, so my job requires me to drive around to a lot of different locations. Because of this, I also get paid my hourly wage for travel time. This only includes everything to the job site, so job site home or office job site are paid, but office home isn't paid. We frequently have to end our day at the office to drop off items and resupply. However, most of the time, me and my colleagues just write all driving time since our homes and offices are close by, and in practice, it actually saves time. So I started this project 3 months ago. This project was in a city a 45-minute drive away from home, and a 1 hour drive from the office I usually use and I am assigned to. This is on a very traffic-prone highway BTW. However, in the same city I had an assignment, we also had an office, so I started using that office to drop off and resupply instead of my normal office. My manager noticed this, so asked me why I still wrote 1,005 hours drive time a day instead of 45 minutes, and pointed me to my contract where it is put, as I explained before. I replied to him, telling him I would drive to my usual office then so I could write the time anyway. He couldn't do anything against it and hung up. 2 weeks later, after I had 4 hours of unnecessary paid time, written extra thanks to traffic jams and the extra drive time, he told me that from that point on, I could just write the time from the city office to home. I have an awesome manager. A user said, "I get the malicious compliance, but if this is in the US, the manager was doing his job keeping the company in line with IRS rules regarding auto expenses and commuting. The company can't deduct your commuting from home to the office at the start of each day, hence why he was questioning the discrepancy." If you enjoyed the video today, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more r/malicious compliance.